if you just do it, it'll turn out okay. That's a phrase I've been using here on this channel for quite a while, for a few years now. But sometimes you need the confidence to follow through on doing it.
Oh, definitely, yeah. But hey, everybody, Eric Vierthaler from Vierthaler Studios here once again, and I'm here with Vandalia 1998, and yeah, we're here to talk about a very, very important topic, a topic that that really nails it at home for us, and definitely something that can be relatable for a lot of other people out there watching this. So yeah.
Uh, well, since you followed your dream, let's talk about yours first.
Okay. Well, oh my God, it's quite the story. But yeah. Well, I've wanted to be in film for as far as I can remember. Uh, I remember I saw the movie Jaws when I was in like the fourth grade. I loved it. I fell in love with it, and and then watching the behind the scenes documentary, I was like, oh my God, I want to be a part of that. And well, making a movie is easier said than done. And there were people in high school who would discourage me from it because people would say that, oh, that's unrealistic. What are the chances of that happening? And so then after high school, I tried making a zombie movie, and long story short, there was a lot of drama. And to make myself clear, the drama wasn't my fault. It was I hired a guy named Kyle to be the producer, but that ended up being the movie's downfall. So so yeah, it didn't work out, and I thought, okay, well maybe I'm meant to be
Real
just a
fast,
fan, huh?
did you? So it was in high school. Did you make a that failure that you whatever did you make a think the history off skit about it?
No, I didn't actually, but yeah, the zombie movie was after high school, but yeah, during high school, I made things that pissed me off, and lots of other stuff on my YouTube channel, and yeah, and I always definitely was very good at entertaining people. Like I remember throughout my entire life, I would entertain people, and I guess for me, it just comes naturally to me. And so when the zombie movie didn't work out, I felt like, okay, maybe I'm meant to be just a fan. And but then I felt like I was wasting my, but then I felt like I was wasting my life away because I was just, you know, doing that daily routine of going to work, and come home, and just that daily routine stuff. I felt like I wasn't making anything of my life at that point. I felt like I was
Yeah.
just living my life just to make other people happy. Like, work that safe, work at that safe job. But it wasn't what I truly wanted to go do. I've also had a lifelong love for dinosaurs, so I thought that, maybe this film thing didn't work out, so maybe that can be just a hobby, and maybe paleontology like can be my primary thing. Well, my second semester of college, I remember that I took a course called mineralogy because with the study of rocks and fossils, they're all made out of minerals. So that was a very essential class for me to take. I remember I was so stressed out of my mind. I I was really stressed taking that course because it's very chemistry heavy, and I learned the very, very hard way that I suck at math. I found that out the really, really, really hard way, and it was hard for me to swallow being in a class full of people who were really good at chemistry. While for me, I had to try extra hard at it, and I was dealing with a lot of other stuff at that time. Like I was dealing with working at Albertsons at that time. And Albertsons at that time was treating me like crap. Hey, Tony Montana, how's it going? But yeah, so I would do what I was told at I was I would do what I was told working at Albertsons, but I would get yelled at anyway. I would say hi to my coworkers, but they never would say hi back.
Mm.
And that really took a toll on my mental health. That on top with struggling really hard with mineralogy and this girl who I was dating at that time, Januside, our relationship was falling apart too. So that's the lowest I have ever hit. I remember that I failed mineralogy. I got a D when I was trying everything that I could.
Well, technically you didn't fail, but pretty much, I guess.
Well, I didn't get an F, but I didn't pass it.
Yeah, college rules. D
Yeah.
pretty much is an F sometimes.
So yeah, that really took a toll on my mental health, and that's been that was the lowest I've ever hit. Like, like I remember when I was 25, they call it an early midlife crisis, but I guess I had a quarter. Do I miss Jenny side at all? Not really. I mean, at the end of our relationship, there was a lot of drama, but yeah, right on target. I get it. You know, there's that misspelling and all that. I get it. Autocorrect. It's not always perfect. I get
You mean you don't miss Canadian genocide at all?
it. Yo, hey, well, at least that brought, more light to, something pretty heavy what I was talking about. So yeah, I felt like a failure. I was like, I failed at pursuing filmmaking with the zombie movie. Then I failed with paleontology. I felt like that I didn't have any sort of meaning to my life. And yeah, that's the most depressed I have ever been in my whole entire life. I was a wreck. And let's put it this way, it got bad enough where I was at the psych ward. It was pretty ugly, I will say that. And then I met a friend of mine named Vanessa. Um, I just felt like that I just needed some new friends at that time because, like I said, I was an emotional wreck, and I remember that I opened up to her, about everything that I was dealing with at that time, and her and I really bonded, and Jenny started making you want to date her brother Sue. But yeah, so Vanessa actually is a paleontologist, and then when I got to know her more, it turned out that she actually worked on the Jurassic World movies. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa! You worked on the Jurassic World? But yes, Vanessa Weaver. That is the one who I'm talking about. Yeah, but yeah, she is the one who was married to Jack Horner, and yeah, I had no idea that she worked on Jurassic World. But to be fair, it makes sense that she would. It's because Vanessa has her connections with Jack Horner, and Jack Horner did work on the previous Jurassic Park movies. So one day, I remember I was on the phone with her, and she was like, "Eric, I'm going to be blunt with you. You would be a lot better at filmmaking than you would be at paleontology." I had to think about it long and hard, and I thought about all the times when I entertained people at karaoke. I mean, I have it on video. People gave
Mhm.
me very strong reactions. Like people would applaud. People grabbed out their phones. They were recording me. Their jaws dropped. They would flood me with all these compliments. So I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but it became very clear that I'm very good at entertaining people. It was a very hard choice to make because of their two things that I love. So I had to think about it long and hard, and I realized that she was right. And then I remember that I told her about my lifelong dream of contacting Jim Carrey. And it turns out that she actually met Jim Carrey at Museum of the Rockies. I was like, oh my God, you met him. I asked her, hey, so would it be cool with you if you could help me out with this lifelong dream of mine? She actually did, and honestly, if it wasn't for her, I I never would have gotten that. So yeah, so Vanessa definitely made a very big impact on my life. Um, so yeah, I definitely greatly appreciate her. If it wasn't for her, I don't know where I would be at now. I don't know if I would have gotten myself out of that, like out of that dark place that I was at. And and then I learned a very, very valuable life lesson working at Albertsons. Oftentimes, we're told not to pursue our dreams. We're told not to go pursue those ambitious jobs like being in a band, being in movies, etc., because we're told that it's so far out of reach that it's ridiculous to even expect it. And so that's why we're told instead that we should just go work at a safe job.
Mhm.
Well, from what I learned at Albertsons, working at that safe job isn't guaranteed to work out because Albertsons would make promises to me, and they never would keep them. One of my last paychecks from Albertsons was only $56, and I tried telling them, "Look, I can't survive off of this." But nothing I ever would say ever would go through to them. It's like either they didn't understand or they just didn't care. But yeah, so the lesson that I learned, you can fail at what you don't want, working at that safe job you don't care about. So you might as well should take a chance at doing what you love. So I decided, okay, paleontology is gonna be more of a hobby. I definitely still will go on dinosaur digs, but I realized that she was right that I am better at entertaining people and filmmaking than I am at paleontology. So yeah, so I made not one but two movies.
Mhm.
After I made my second movie, while making the movie that I'm making now, me and the whole team had the philosophy: go big or go home. So we were like, hey, why don't we try to get a more famous person in the movie that we're making now? So I remember I was calling agent after agent of all these famous people. A lot of them were telling me no. Either they told me no, or they never would return my phone calls. So the second to the last agent that I called was Judy Fox because I thought, hey, so I was just trying to name off every famous person that I could come up with in my head. The second to the last person I thought of was Kane Hodder. And to those who don't know who Kane Hodder is most famous for playing Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th, Part 7 and 8, Jason Goes to Hell, and Jason X. And he even reprised his role in that recent Friday the 13th video game. So I thought, hey, screw it. Just contact Kane Hodder's agent, see what his agent says. Out of all the agents who I spoke to, she was by far the nicest one that I ever met. Like, she didn't instantly like just shut me down or anything. like she actually was interested in hearing what I had to say. Like, she definitely was a lot nicer than a lot of the other agents that I've talked to. And Hollywood definitely is very notorious for being the kind of business where you hear no a lot. And from what I've learned, uh, especially in the Hollywood business, don't always take rejection personally. There were movies that I tried out for that I didn't get the part for, but just because you don't get the part, it doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It just means that you weren't right for said. It just means that you weren't right for said part. Like an example, say instead of James Earl Jones with that commanding deep voice as Mufasa, imagine if they got an Adam Sandler. Like, it just wouldn't fit the character. It's not anything against Adam Sandler as a person, but it's just as that character, it just doesn't fit. So, did it suck having all those people telling me no? Yes. But if you really want it, you just gotta keep at it. And despite all those people telling me no, I just kept at it. Then I finally got somebody to say yes with Judy Fox. Judy Fox seemed really interested because Kane Hodder has been so typecast with doing horror movies, where according to his IMDb, he he's mostly in horror movies, sometimes action movies, but mostly horror.
Yeah, typecast like a lot of people get typecast like I can't remember his name's always his name. Oh, Tim Curry is almost like always the villain most
Yeah,
things.
exactly. And so finally, it was a role for Kane Hodder where it's not a horror movie, and it's not like that Kane and his agent don't like horror movies because, of course, it gives him work, but it's just finally something different. And clearly, I made a really good impression on Judy Fox.
Was Judy Fox the one who convinced you to get the SAG thing?
Well, so what happened was Judy Fox said, okay, legally, Kane Hodder can only do union productions, but however, I'm going to give you the contact information for the Screen Actors Guild. So Judy Fox gave me the keys to be a member of the Screen Actors Guild. And for those who don't know what the Screen Actors Guild is, I'm going to call it SAG for short, so that way it's not as much of a mouthful. Most Hollywood movies are unionized, and so 99.9% of every mainstream Hollywood movie that you go see at the theater, most of them are done by SAG. And so every big name Hollywood person you can think of is a part of SAG. I think it'll be really hard to find somebody who's in the Hollywood business as an actor and is not in SAG. So the fact that she offered me to be a part of the Screen Actors Guild, that is huge. And that is redemption after everything that I've been through. And then
Rolf, and then you joined right when the strike was happening.
yeah, and just as I was about to join, the strikes went on. I was like, ugh. So, and then that meant with the movie that I'm making now, I was forced to make it a non-union production. I almost got Kane Hodder, but the Hollywood strikes happened, so I was forced to not have Kane in it. I was like, man, that sucks, but hey, push on through. I had no idea how long the strikes was going to go on for. And then, well, they finally ended late last year. I mean, I'm glad that it lasted less than a year because it could have been longer. And so, and even while making the movie that I'm making now, but yeah, Tony, I will answer that, but yeah, this first, but yeah, so I wanted somebody else to play Amber Turd in the new movie. So I was looking for somebody to take over the part. Uh, I wanted Scout Taylor Compton, who was Laurie Strode in Rob Zombie's Halloween. Her agents wanted more money than I had, so it sucks that I couldn't get her, but it is what it is. Then I landed on somebody, and if you go on my YouTube channel, you actually can see who it is. Her name is Delaney Harrington. She actually signed the Amber Turd mask that was used in the second movie and in the third movie. I also signed it too. And some lucky fan out there is going to win it. But so when I so when her and I met up for her audition, she was telling me how she has an agent. I was like, "Whoa, you have an agent?" And I was asking her, "How did you get an agent?" She then gave me the contact information for the agency she's in, and I filled out my form. But yeah, it took me a while to fill out my form because on the form they wanted me to have a headshot and all that, trying to schedule that and save up money for it. But yeah, I filled out my form yesterday for me to have my own agent. So hey, I mean, me being a part of SAG and me having my own agent is going to be huge for me. It definitely will be. It definitely will help when I have my own agent. And the very last thing that I ever told my grandpa before he passed away was how all my dreams are coming true. I have a shot with having a movie career. I have a shot with SAG. So knowing that that was the very last thing that I ever told him definitely has been a very big motivator for me. Like, hey, regardless how hard it gets, push on through. I mean, heck, case in point, when all those agents were telling me no, and then I finally landed somewhere with Judy Fox. And so, oh, definitely, that was very, very, very nice of her to do that. And whenever I tell people about that encounter, the most common thing that I hear from people is saying, people tell me, Eric, you're going to become famous. That is the most common thing that I hear. Now, if I do become famous, that will be great. But I also don't want to be one of those people where they have the fame get to their head because, all those famous actors wouldn't be where they're at if it wasn't for their fans. So
So you're not going to be going on stage slapping anybody at the Emmys anytime soon.
keep my wife's name out of your mouth. Yeah, and then yeah, and then yeah, and then you told me at a live stream a while ago saying how someday someone's gonna do the same thing to me, like to what I did to Jim Carrey. And then a few months ago, I was doing a live stream, and then one of my longtime subscribers named Ghostwriter commented saying how if he met me, he would be in tears. So, and then you might have saw the video that I did. I then uploaded a video saying, "Hey, Ghostwriter, how about that when the third things that piss me off movie is done, when I have the premiere at my university, I want to invite you." So I'm like, hey, this is my chance. I would like to do the same thing what Jim Carrey did for me for somebody else. And Hollywood it really truly is about who you know. So that's why I've been working really hard at building up my connections. That that is why that me and Junebug do sit down by the fire, just so that we can get our foot out there and build up our connections. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, heck, because I'm friends with Vanessa, who worked on the Jurassic World movies, that definitely can help me out. And going back to what I said, if it wasn't for her, I Never would have gotten those connections with Jim Carrey. So yeah. So the moral of my story is, regardless how hard things get, there's always that light at the very end of that tunnel. I mean, heck, I went from spending Christmas at the psych ward in 2021 to being where I'm at now. Yeah, Alma. So it was my lifelong dream to contact Jim Carrey, and then Jim Carrey announced his retirement, and then and then at the moment I was like, oh my god, my time is running out. So I was doing all this research how to contact him, and then I told my friend Vanessa about it. She said that she met him at Museum of the Rockies. So I wrote a heartfelt letter to Jim Carrey, and then he sent me that. So yeah, words can't describe how happy that I was. I was in tears. And then knowing that Ghost Rider told me that he would be in tears if he met me, I was like, oh my God, this is my chance to do what Jim Carrey did for me, but for somebody else. And yeah, and I mean, heck, I have a lot of things to look forward to, and but yeah, you know, one of the philosophies that I live by in my life opens up opportunities for you. You can either take them or you can stay afraid of taking them. I was offered SAG. A lot of people would be too intimidated to take that, but I was like, you know what? Screw it, take it. I was offered to have my own agent, took it. Because I say that because back in high school, I remember this really can play into the whole confidence thing. In high school, I remember I had the major hots for this girl named Haley. I had the major hots for her. I wanted to tell her that I had a crush on her, but I was too scared to tell her because I was thinking of all these bad scenarios in my head. I was like, what if she thinks I'm weird? What if she doesn't like me? What if it ruins our friendship? You know, I was playing up all these bad scenarios in my head. And that's why all throughout high school, I never told her. Then fast forward a few years after high school, and I finally told her, and she was like, Eric, you should have said something. I totally would have dated you. But the problem was she moved to Arizona, and I'm in Montana. So that's an example of having an opportunity and being too scared to take that opportunity. And then afterwards, you end up regretting not taking that opportunity. So I viewed that as a life lesson, that that you shouldn't be too scared to take those chances in life, because sometimes stepping outside of our comfort zone actually can help benefit us both personally and on a professional level. I mean, heck, me calling all these agents, that was me stepping outside of my comfort zone. And look at where it brought me now. So, and Alma says you told her, and that's what counts. Yes, I finally told her. So, yeah, so anybody watching out there, do not make the same mistake that I made. So, yeah, all right. So, yeah, so that's my story of confidence. Let's hear yours.
Okay, my story is still going on this moment. So let's go back to the late '80s when I was in elementary school, and I started writing. At first, it was this little short adventures of me and my friends doing stuff, saving the day and stuff, saving the elementary school, saving the playground, fighting the villains, all that stuff. Then I started doing more up middle school and high school. I started doing more longer stuff, more complicated stuff. And finally, senior year, I had a little binder of I think I a little short little store small short things I was doing. I'm like, maybe I can write a book. So more experience. I found this medium called fan fiction for a while. Which let me expand my not horizons, but expand tool my craft a little bit. But and I even bought some software to help me write. Different programs here and there. Because sometimes it's just for me and my brain it's just complicated to figure out what plot is, theme, genre, uh, development, exposition, all that stuff. So I kept getting used to learning. So I kept on. I looked stuff up. I learned stuff how to do stuff. And finally, about 15ish years ago, at the same time I was starting my YouTube channel, I finally made an outline of my whole the whole thing I want to do for my whole series. So I want to make a series. So I made a little outline plot, and then finally concentrate on the first book. Then my dad passed away, and
Oh, I'm sorry.
so I got a little distracted there, and then uh, I start, but so there. Then finally, I got some medicine for my anxiety and depression, which I didn't even know I had for a while, and that kept that, and that started keeping that under check. So I went back, got some new things, and then I slowly started writing till last year. I hit about 40,000 words in my book, and that's where my confidence started to waver a little bit. Like I was thinking, is 40,000 words enough for a book? Is it a short story book, or would it be a novel? Is it too long? Is it too short for something? Why you write more? And much as I could figure out how to expand it and make sense to the book. So then I'm like, maybe I looked this up. Maybe 40,000 words is enough. And I'm like, all right. So, but then again, my anxiety and confidence hit me again, where I was like, okay, it might be enough for a word, but if the story even makes sense. So I'm like, I'm trying to find some people that help me critique, before I send out the editors and stuff, because once it goes to the editors, they are expensive. If you don't know.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, and there's different editors too. There's developmental editor, make sure your story is right. Then there's line editors to make sure your each line of spelling and grammar is right. Then there's formatters and all different things before you even get to the publishing part. And my friend, one friend told me just to go on Amazon, just publish it as is, which might work, But then, my head is like, is it the best? Do I want it to be the best it can be before I send it out to the public? So, and it's just it's been sitting there. Why look for people, critiquers, beta readers, and stuff, and then get the money to get to hire the editors, each editor I need. It's just been sitting on my computer for 6 months now, and it's. I mean, it's not interesting or long as your story, but that's my basic plot for my current situation.
Okay, well, it definitely is a journey with gaining confidence. People easily can tell you, "Oh, just be more confident." While it's easy to say that, but you know, it's something that really truly builds up over time. Like say if somebody were to tell you that one day, the very next day you're not just going to wake up and go, "I'm more confident now." It's not quite that easy. But yeah, I mean, 10 years ago or not, it. But yeah, so Tony, answer your question. Send your Q&A questions. Here, let me look on my channel. Hold up. But yeah, sorry to get off topic, but
Your fan is here.
hey, Ghost Rider. But yeah, funny. It's so funny that you're here. It's because I actually mentioned you not too long ago. So just a coincidence that you're here. But yeah, welcome. Where to ask questions? I know I. All right, I'm just looking back at my channel where I said that. Okay, so in the video right above the Nicholas Holt announced as Lex Luthor, that video there. It's a video, ask your questions for my 2K subscriber special. It was posted 1 month ago. So yeah, ask your questions there. But
So yeah, do you have any questions about my current situation or anything?
I'm trying to think of some, but yeah, where do you feel like you're at now?
Right now, I think I have, in my brain at least, I think I've written all the words I can write. So I don't think I can write any more words for this particular book. You know, I would like to get done and published before I get started my next book, and I hope I can do a series. But it all starts with one. It all starts with one book, you know.
Okay, and so it sounds like you're having a hard time coming up with more words to say for it.
Yeah, I think I honestly think but I looked this stuff up and I thought 40,000 words was at the time I thought was too small. So at the time I started looking for co-writers, you know, but no one, you know, help me write stuff or either that or just help me get my brain going. But then later I looked it up that 40,000 words sometimes is enough if you get the point across the story.
Right.
Not all books have to be 100K, 80K, 100K, 200K words. You know, like,
yeah, exactly. And you also have to keep in mind if a book's really long, that's going to be a really big time commitment for a lot of people, which is what turned me off like from reading Stephen King's It. Now, I love Stephen King, but the book was just way too long.
Besides the sewer situation down there.
Yeah, that infamous sewer part in the book. And yeah, it's no wonder why that never made it into any of the movies because legally there was no way that they ever could get away with filming that. Yeah, so but yeah, I mean, you don't want to have it too short, but you know, it's all about finding that happy medium.
And
yeah.
And then since my book, I wanted to aim it towards, you know, middle school age kids, you know, hopefully, I don't know, maybe they can handle more than 40,000 words. Maybe they can't. I don't know. Maybe in future books, you know, I'll be able to get more plot going and stuff. So,
right. Yeah, exactly.
So then I'm like, okay, then my other situation came up. Okay, it may be enough, but the story currently makes sense as it is. Is it just, you know, is the character development and the plot development, Are they consistent? Do they make sense, or is this? Am I just rambling on for chapter to chapter, totally changing the subject? You know.
But yeah, so uh, that was something that I faced with making my second movie. I was, you know, I put in a lot more effort for things that pissed me off the movie two than I did for the first movie. But you also have to remember that you can't. You also have to remember like that you can't please everybody. So, like say for an example, a lot of people say that The Dark Knight's one of the greatest movies ever made, but I have met some people out there like who think that movie's boring. So, you really can't please everybody. So, Ghost
Yeah.
Rider, the sewer part in Stephen King's It book. Well, you know how there's all those guys and there's the one girl in the group. There's an infamous scene in the sewer where all the guys have sex with the girl, and
And they're all teenagers or even younger than teenagers, I think.
yeah, like they're all like pre,
Early teens at the oldest, I think.
yeah, early teens at the oldest. So Stephen King said that he wrote it. He put that in as like a way to show that they're going from youth to adult. I get that, but yeah, legally, there's no way that they ever could get away with filming that for any of the movies. So I can now maybe if it was done by Rob Zombie, then maybe Rob Zombie would keep it in, but
Because he'd probably hire adult children actors.
yeah, or maybe body doubles or something like just for that. But yeah, even then, even if they had that in a movie, they would get so much backlash for that. No, it wasn't supposed to be an illusion in the book. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry, there is no group sex scene in my book.
Good with children. But yeah, so Ghost Rider. Did you hear about people seeing creatures at the Miami Mall? There were 30 cops. I did not. No. So in Stephen King's It book, all of the boy children have sex with the one girl child that's in their group.
And this was after they defeated the clown for not defeated or scared away the clown for the first time as kids. So they've won.
But yeah, they won temporarily. So as a way to celebrate, they all have an orgy.
I think it was more complicated than that. I forget why they did it. No, but yeah, it's icky, I guess.
But yeah, and that's why. But yeah, in the infamous orgy scene, the clown was not involved with it. It was because the clown was temporarily defeated. That's funny. Was Stephen King high on something?
So if you ever read the book,
has gone on the record saying that he regrets putting that in.
So warning, if you ever read the book, be prepared or to skip that chapter or something.
Yeah. But yeah, and I will never forget that when the 2017 movie came out, everybody was talking about how they left that out, but not that people were complaining that it wasn't in there, but they were talking about, yeah, that's a big liberty that they took. And sometimes they can take liberties on things because most mainstream audiences aren't going to want to see a bunch of kids doing the freaky deaky. So
it wasn't in the late 80s TV movie either.
Yeah, it wasn't in that either.
With Tim Curry. Again, as the villain.
Yeah, with Tim Curry. It was 50 Shades of it. 50 Shades of Pennywise. But yeah, and at one point for the 2017 movie, it almost was going to be Will Poulter, the kid from We're the Millers, and then was in Guardians 3. He was supposed to be Pennywise. He definitely does have that look, but At the same time, I'm definitely glad that it was Bill Skarsgård because I love the way how he did that with his eye, and that's actually not CGI. That's what Bill actually can do in real life, and the way how he did the voice, Bill was creepy.
So off topic, oh, on top of the main topic. I'd like this topic. Did you like both versions of Pennywise, or you prefer one over the other?
Yeah, I get it. Like that, the Tim Curry performance is iconic, and Tim Curry is a legend. So those were really big shoes to fill. Now I get it. The one with Tim Curry was just a TV movie, so it didn't have the budget the 2017 movie did, so it's not fair. But I do appreciate that the 2017 movie actually had more of the budget that it needed. So it's a little bit unfair, but now granted, the 2017 movie it did have some problems too. Like that part where Pennywise is dancing, that was unnecessary. I could do without that. And yeah, and the ending with him as a giant spider. In the original, it looks like it's right out of a Ray Harryhausen movie. And I was surprised in it chapter 2 that they had the giant spider again. I was surprised about that. I think the second Batman movie will be like The Dark Knight 2008. When you say second Batman, do you mean second Batman with Robert Pattinson? But yeah, so confidence really can get you a, you know, it's both hard to get, but once you get more of it, it pays off.
Oh, real fast. If anybody's interested, we reviewed the first It movie 6 years ago. There's the link if anybody's interested in checking it out.
When you say the first one, do you mean the one
2017.
with? So what? Sorry.
6 years ago, 2017.
Okay, but yeah, I just was not sure if you meant like the the Tim Curry one or the one with Bill Skarsgård.
Oh, well, the Tim Curry one got me a little phobic about clowns and sewers for a while.
Okay.
As a kid, I was like 9 or 10 when the movie came out. TV movie came out, so I'm like, I was a little iffy about him for a long time because of that movie.
Yeah, I wasn't even born yet when the TV movie came out. I was born 2 years after, so
Which makes it a little hard at my job earlier on the job because my mascot's a clown.
yeah, that is ironic. But yeah,
And pitching, I tensed up time he was there. I'm like, oh my god, go away, go away.
yeah, and I've noticed that McDonald's they don't really use Ronald McDonald all that much anymore.
Yeah, I think a lot of places have phased away from kids to more adult things. It seems like.
Yeah, I mean, it could be because of all these clowns and these, the way how they're portrayed in a lot of media now. People nowadays, a lot of people now have a phobia of clowns now, so that could be why.
Plus, for a long time, when I was growing up, McDonald had a whole crew of friends. Then it was just Ronald McDonald, and all the friends are dead or moved away.
Yeah, and I noticed that too. Like all of Ronald McDonald's friends, they're pretty much now irrelevant. Like they're not even around anymore. Like, yeah, there's a Ronald McDonald house for charity.
Yeah, like Grimace, the Hamburglar, the Fry Kids, the Talking Nuggets.
Yep.
There's even places people I even know about.
Which is so weird to think about because back in like the 80s and 90s, even in the early 2000s, like Ronald McDonald and the whole gang, they were all over the marketing, and now they're pretty much gone. It's weird. So yeah,
so like I said, back to the main topic. I was like, So I might have enough words, but like I said, so I started searching like you did, start searching for somebody who could beta read or something. Somebody besides just family members that's like, oh, that's a good book. I like it. Or or a close friend. Saying, oh, that's good. That friends less more than family. That they tell you it's good no matter what. Or
Right.
maybe it is good, but it's like in your head you want. I don't say what a professional, I guess, opinion, give or take.
Right.
Not.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's something that I can relate to because when my first movie came out, people were honest, saying that it wasn't the best movie ever made. People gave their constructive criticism for it. So the way how I see it, when someone gives you constructive criticism, use that as an advantage, like for how you can grow
Yeah. I
after.
just gotta find those people. Right. That my right goal right now is to find those people. Yeah, and also constructive criticism. There's difference between constructive criticism and just you fucking suck, man. You're
Exactly. Yeah.
terrible.
There is a difference between constructive criticism versus just being a complete asshole. So yeah, I definitely would reach out to Junebug for that. So it's just a shame that Junebug couldn't join this, but hey, it is what it is. And Ghost Rider asked, "Have I seen the Cat Williams interview?" No, I have not.
Well, we're discussing stuff. If does anybody in chat want to tell their story of confidence or going for your dreams? Feel free to.
Yeah, and
Or
ultimately, what I
so
learned, life is way too short. We shouldn't just live our lives just to please other people because that is such a miserable way to live. Like to just live your life just to please other people. And going back to what I said, you can't please everybody. And people have told me, oh, well, how are you going to make ends meet? So, I can negotiate deals like for my acting career. And on top of that, most actors do make ends meet doing cons. And I mean, heck, part of the whole point to the whole Hollywood strike was so that actors can make ends meet. So I'm like, hey, it sucks that the Hollywood strike happened, but it's actually going to benefit me in the long run. So I want to try to become a wrestler. Okay, Ghost Rider,
uh,
go
go
for it,
for it.
man.
There's plenty of choices now. It's not like in the or like when we were growing up, where it was a one man show. There are like lots of choices to go
Exactly.
to.
Like, when I would do karaoke and when I got those very strong reactions from people, I realized that I enjoyed entertaining people at karaoke way more than I did working at that safe job that I don't care about. So hey man, you want to go for it, you know, other
I,
people may try to limit your potential. There might be people out there who will tell you that you can't do it, but what matters, you don't limit yourself. And it doesn't matter that other people do not believe in you. What matters, do you believe in yourself and do you believe you can do it? Because until you believe that you can do it, nobody else is going to believe in you.
kind of joking here, but that's it. If anybody wants to start a GoFundMe for a plane ticket so I can go to Eric's premiere, feel free to.
Yeah, but yeah,
So I would love to go to
oh yeah,
Eric's
definitely.
premiere.
And I would love to have you come. So yeah, I mean the movie's not done yet. So yeah, so we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, I invited Ghost Rider and I would love to have you there. I mean, it will be my first time ever meeting you in person.
Yeah. So my goal for this year, by the end of this year or earlier, if possible, I want to have this book out there on the shelves or even just on Kindle or whatever. That's my goal. I'm going to try my best to stick to get that book out, to get that book edited, published, and
But
out
yeah,
there. What's your goal for the year? If you
My
have
goal of
one?
the year is to get an agent and get my third movie done. And I was offered to be in a horror movie, so I'm going to do that. Basically, my goal, well, I gained a ton of weight in 2020 because of COVID. My goal is to lose some more weight and to further my dreams.
And also, once it's done, if you want it, I'll let you have first crack at making a movie out of the
Okay,
book.
yeah, totally. But yeah, and I mean, books being made into movies, it definitely is a really good way to make more sales, like for the book. Case in point, I read the Jurassic Park book because I saw the movie, which caused me to go buy the book, and I loved the
Yeah.
Jurassic Park book.
I think that one of the main differences is the boy and the girl
Yes,
switch
and
places.
the opening's different, the ending is different. I will admit this: the ending to the Jurassic Park book is a lot better. The ending to the Jurassic Park movie is a lot better than in the book.
I think in the book, spoilers. I think in the book, John Hammond
He
gets eaten or
does,
killed.
and but yeah, just the whole ending with the T-Rex in the movie is a lot cooler than the ending in the book. And so another example is that after I saw the Jaws movie, I read the Jaws book. And so they say that the book is better than the movie, but Jaws is a very rare exception where the book is a lot better because a big problem with the Jaws book, the characters are so unlikable, and even Spielberg even admitted that. So because he was like, yeah, when I was reading the Jaws book, I actually wanted the shark to win, and when you want the shark to win, that's a bad sign that you did a crappy job writing characters. So yeah, so the ending to the Jaws movie is a lot better. The characters are a lot better in the Jaws movie. So yeah,
At least the first one. After the sequels, you know.
yeah. Jaws 2 was okay. Jaws 3 was crap. Jaws: The Revenge is a joke.
Luckily, they didn't do what they did in Back to the Future Part Two, and now it's now on the fifth Jaws 50th now.
Yeah, Jaws 17 or whatever it was. This time it's really, really personal, which which was a parody like of the tagline in Jaws 4. This time it's personal. So Ghost Rider, I know wrestlers will be jerks, but yeah, unfortunately, there's always going to be people who are jerks. Like going back to what I was saying about making the third pissed off movie, there were agents telling me no. There were some agents who were downright rude to me. But hey, but what matters is that you don't let them get to you.
All right. Any other
You
goals or
have,
dreams you want to talk
but yeah,
about?
but yeah, you have one life to live, and you should make the best of it, regardless what any of your naysayers say. Like case in point, there were people in high school who told me that I was never going to get my driver's license, but in 2010, I proved all of them wrong. So, so it doesn't matter if your naysayers do not believe in you. It doesn't matter what any rude person says to you. What matters is that do you believe in yourself? But yeah, Ghost Rider, I definitely will check out the interview when I have my chance. So
Real fast, I think I ever asked you this question. So why did you change the name of your channel? Why did you change the name of your channel?
yeah, so I was talking with Junebug Films, and I decided it sounds a lot more professional. Well, it sounds counterintuitive. Yes, it is a YouTube channel, but I decided that Eric Vierthaler 92, it just sounds too much like a YouTube username. I wanted something that sounded a lot more professional. So it feels weird not being called Eric Vierthaler 92 anymore. But that's the only difference. I mean, my channel is still the exact same. It's just the name is different because Vierthaler Studios, it sounds a lot more marketable than Eric Vierthaler 92. So,
And your other channel is pretty much dead right now.
It is because I decided that with me having a shot with a movie career, it would not be very wise for me to get into any controversial topics anymore. So it was fun while it lasted, arguing with people about controversial topics. But, you know, like I said, filmmaking is about who you know. So
I said this before, because again, maybe once you're more established, you can make movies about those topics if you wanted to.
yeah, exactly. Once I get more established, then yes. But for now, it's best that I keep my mouth shut. And
So basically, right now, this flat Earth movie is going to be your last controversial movie topic.
yeah, because the Flat Earth movie was already in the making long before this whole SAG thing ever was offered to me. So yeah, so yes, the Flat Earth will be the last contra. And I can't believe that we're even debating the shape of the Earth, but that's another topic in of itself. But yeah, so it was a difficult choice for my second channel. I put a lot of those videos on private because I'm just scared that what if somebody from Hollywood gets offended by those videos. So
I'm glad you just put it on private or unlisted and not just delete it completely.
exactly, yeah. So I heard horror stories about Hollywood, yeah, but there also are some good stories too. But yeah, unfortunately, yeah, there are some horror stories about Hollywood, and proving everyone wrong will be a good feeling. Oh, it absolutely is. I will never forget the look on all those people's faces when I proved them wrong, saying that showing them proof that I got my driver's license. They looked, they had that look on their face as if they felt like complete idiots. And there was some people who were saying, "Oh, Eric, you shouldn't be driving. That's not a good idea." And they were trying to convince me not to drive. I'm like, "Well, too bad, man. You don't get to have that say."
Montana wasn't that the state when I was growing up with speed limit was whatever is reasonable in the more.
Yeah, I know the speed limit on the highway in my area is 80, and I guess that's up for debate if it's too high or if it's too low. But
Yeah,
yeah,
sorry, yeah, I remember. I remember when, and like I think it was the late '80s or early '90s when the states finally got it to make their own traffic rules. Before it was all 55 everywhere, and then all of a sudden, every state you can make your own speed limits, and
yeah, and I heard there's one place in the world where there is no speed limit on the highway. You can go as fast as you want. I don't know if that's true or if it is true where it's at.
I think that one was that. But for a while, I'm pretty sure that was your state. That was your state.
Oh
It's
well, I never heard anything about that.
it was one of those northern states like Dakotas or Montana, where it's that whatever's reasonable. And so, all right. So, anything coming up on your channels that you want to talk about?
Let's see. I have some upcoming episodes of Let's Watch a Movie. Oh, and Junebug says it's in Germany. So Junebug, have you been watching the whole entire time? I'm just curious. But yeah, yeah, some episodes of Let's Watch a Movie, some more episodes of Things That Piss Me Off planned. This year is the 15th anniversary of Things That Piss Me Off. So yeah, uh, we're gonna make it special. I'm hoping to have the third movie out to celebrate the 50th anniversary. Okay, you just popped in. Okay, well,
Just in
welcome.
time.
But yeah, you came at ironic timing because we were just wrapping it up. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. I mean, it's a shame that you couldn't join the actual stream itself. But hey, maybe Vandalia like we'll do a part two and you can be a part of it. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
maybe a follow up once the confidence works once I get my book published. But for me, I currently have nothing planned for next Saturday, but thinking that Eric is free or not, we could either continue the I think this Piss Me Off series review, or we could do a review of the Friday the 13th movies. I know it's not Halloween time, but scary
Well,
movies.
for Friday the 13th, I guess we would have to look at when.
No, not Friday the 13th. We already did that. Elm Street.
Oh, Elm Street. Oh yeah, you're right. We actually did review the Friday the 13th movies. Have you seen any of the Nightmare on Elm Street films?
I saw the fifth one when I was 9.
Yeah, I have seen all of them. Either that or, I mean, I got the idea is because I'm looking at my Tobin Bell autograph. We could review all the Saw films.
Either one works. I said so we can discuss it more later. The Saw films, the Elm Street films, or again, part 3 of the
Excuse me.
Things That Pissed Me Off series.
All right, Junebug says take to them so they won't. What do you mean by take of them? I don't know what you mean, Junebug. But yeah, Ghost Rider, I get it. You're worried, but hey,
We're all worried.
I hopefully will have my own agent soon. And the whole point of an agent is to help you, guide you in the right direction. And so yeah,
I don't know if I should get an agent for. Do they have agents for book writing?
That's a good question. It's definitely possible. It would make sense to me. But yeah, I definitely would do some research on that. So
again, that's something I need. I save up for it if it is.
So yeah, so with having an agent, so according to my research, if an agency asks you to pay money to join, it's a scam. It's because the way how agents make money actually is based off a commission. Like, say, for an example, say if I do a movie, I get paid for it. Half of the money that I make from that paycheck also will go to the agent. So yeah, so if they ask you for money to join, it's a scam.
Then in 2 Saturdays from now, I'll be starting with Landon Knoll, my miniseries BE, Before Earth. I was looking at the 14. If you look at the 10 billion years between the Big Bang and the little situation, and when the rocks came together to form the Earth. That it's gonna be right now. It's a 5-part series, 3rd Saturday of each month, while we review that 10 billion year history of stuff. Well, apparently a lot of stuff happened in those 10 billion years. It wasn't just quiet nothingness.
All right.
It wasn't 6,000 years ago either. And then on the final Thursday of the month, I will be continuing my Rome series and talking about. I think we're on part 8 or 9 now, and we're finally getting to Julius Caesar.
Awesome.
So, you wanna wave us off, or?
But yeah, thank you all for coming by. Stay tuned for more content on my channel and on Vandilia's channel. And most importantly, never stop learning. See ya.
And enjoy the randomness. We'll see y'all next time.